Okay, take two. Welcome back to episode 2 with Jones Twine and Anthony Jones. And Anthony, let's talk about where we're going forward. We were talking about how obviously we've got a little bit more warehousing space when we started. And anyway, take it away.
Absolutely. I just first appreciate what you guys are doing, absolutely, and thank you to all the customers out there for being a part of supporting Jones Boots for many years. But Jones Twine and Net Wrap is kind of the company that not a lot of people know about. It was the first company that was started. Jones Boots came out of that, and I'm unbelievably blessed to be able to step into a company that my grandfather and my family built for many years. And we've been able to be a part of those hay baling world, transaction trends, going from your baling wire to your sisal to your polypropylene plastic, being there when net wrap came into the market, being there when silage wrap started growing, expanding, and better quality hay was getting out there. And we've always tried to be one of the forerunners to be able to take advantage of that. Now, things are a little different going into the future. We obviously want to be able to take advantage of any new products that are coming down the pipeline. But we're also wanting to find more ways of helping our business accounts, helping the local farmer. So that's everything from not only carrying the highest quality hay baling products and aggressive prices and customer service, but considering getting into agricultural replacement parts, everything from bale spears to rake wheels to other things, to be able to grab those high quality parts from the USA, high quality parts from all around the world, and be able to provide a product, price, and an amazing customer service to our dealers around here, because at the end of the day, that's how we get to take care of the farmers around.
So that is a transition you've made recently to not only the twine and the net wrap, but the part world. You have an amazing employee, good friend of mine also.
Absolutely,
that
Brandon
you brought on,
Watkins.
Brandon. And so you guys have grown that business along with this.
Well, so I mean, really, over the last 6 years, we were able to take the company from a regional between Missouri and some of the states surrounding Missouri. That was really the heart of our company. That's where our accounts were. We had somewhere between 100 to 150 accounts in that range. In the last 6 years, we really did figure out a model that allowed us to not just take care of the Missouri and the states around in this area, but actually become a national supplier. So now we're actually just under 1,000 accounts. We went from selling about 15,000 rolls of net wrap to closer to 80 to 90,000 rolls of net wrap. And one of the ways we've done that is we brought in multiple product lines. So we don't just have 1 or 2 net wraps. We stock 7 different net wraps, 5 different silage wraps, multiple different twines. Why? Because they all do just a little different. Little different things. Some of them are a little heavier. Some of them have better cover edge. Some do a little better watershed. So one of the things, now that we've got, right around 1,000 different business accounts, we're wanting to find some other products to be able to go and help those accounts out as well. And that's where Brandon Watkins has been a huge person. But we're right now in the process of being able to find vendors and suppliers to be able to help us to step into that world, to be able to provide some of the same price, product, service combination that we've been able to with Twine and Net Wrap.
So something we were discussing was the scale of their business. Like we said, we're in a town of 500 some people, pretty rural area, we'd call it that. So the scale, the size of your guys' business on the distributor level.
We actually been able to quadruple the company in the last 5 years. Whenever I took it over, it had such a solid foundation. It had the heart of my grandfather behind it, which is just amazing things. But being able to figure out from the technology world, getting out there, we've actually built a sales team, we've got a full logistics team. It really has allowed us to be able to create a model that can scale very quickly, and some days it feels like we're actually just getting started. Really figuring out to build a system that doesn't just have the ability to give high customer service to 1,000 accounts. How can we do that with 2,000 accounts? We carry right now somewhere between 250 and 300 different active products that we're supplying throughout the nation. And we're wanting to scale that to somewhere between 20 to 30,000 different agricultural parts coming in to be able to help people. So just exciting things that we're trying to build to continue to, I'm blessed that I'm the 4th generation Jones to be running Jones Twine and Net Wrap.
And that's a fascinating aspect, and what we were discussing was the communication that goes on. We lived right across the road, for a few years from your grandma, and became pretty good friends. And you know, I admire your grandma. She's great. So on that, you know, how you guys work together on growing this. You know, we were discussing when you turned around. She said, "Well, sometimes I have to let him know that I'm kind of in charge, but you know, but yet, you know, you guys work together great. I admire that a lot. And that's a, but how do you, you know, what do you see in that relationship and how you guys work together?
I will say a lot of people affiliate our business, the history of our business, with my grandpa Ronnie Jones, and I'm so blessed to have him as a grandfather. He was amazing, inspirational, high character. But what a lot of people don't know is how incredibly strong and intelligent and helpful and supportive that my grandma has been. Since my grandpa passed away 7 years ago, my grandma had a lot put on her shoulders. And through the grace and favor of God, I've been able to step up and help out and try to carry on that legacy. And through the process, me and Grandma, we've had to have a lot of conversations. There was times I had to challenge some of the old ways we used to do things. There were times she had to kind of say, Anthony, I'm the boss, we're going to do it this way. And I had to smile and nod, say, absolutely. So I will say, anytime you work with family, especially where you're in a challenging time and then you're trying to grow things, communication is key. And sometimes it's having hard communication, and that's where we've been able to go through that. At the end of the day, I'm unbelievably blessed to have an incredible.
And you're how old?
I'm 34.
34, so still plenty young.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I don't feel 34. I feel like the last 7 years aged me more than 7. I feel like 10, 15.
It's the miles.
Got some gray coming in there. I still got hair on top, so we're good there. But you know,
it's the miles. So that's interesting. You know, so we've got everything from our wraps to, you know, you mentioned sisal. You know, we sold some of that the other day through you guys. You know, for somebody that was wanting to use that in silage, you know, and they're going to wrap it. So what is really unique, and what's a difficulty of carrying this many SKUs?
That has been one of the biggest hurdles that we have had to overcome. We have wanted to create a model that was different than just a basic distributor, but we didn't want to get into manufacturing. So one of the things that we've done is we started bringing in multiple different vendors. What that's allowed us to do is whatever farmer wants this net wrap, we can get him that exact product. Sometimes farmers are a little difficult at changing their mind. I don't know if you've ever ran into that or not. But to be able to do that, we had to be very aggressive with sales. We had to be very financially smart. We had to watch our inventory with everything that we've done. But it's also, as a distributor, put us in a place of strength. If I have a manufacturer that's trying to jack up our prices, which in turn is going to hurt our dealers and our customers, I've been able to say, hey, well, these other 3 companies are. And then as another company comes out with a new research and development, a new product, there's a new net wrap that's similar to Vermeer technology with wide mesh. It's starting to come down the cycle of something that's got stronger wharf strands, can hold your wheat strolls and your corn stalks at a higher level. Well, because we are partnered with so many vendors, we're able to be on the forefront of some of those technologies coming down the pipeline.
It's fascinating. You're talking about all these technologies. They're just basically a wrap for a grass silage or, you know, a feed stuff. I mean, that's very fascinating. You know, so with the parts business and expanding into different lines, you know, it's very interesting to visit when we do, because you're talking about, well, we started with boots, and that's where you started out being younger, and now you're talking about all the technologies that are involved in this space. So obviously you've got to be pretty well versed in these areas.
And that's what we've tried to do. You know, in net wrap, twine, silage wrap, our 3 bread and butter products, we want to be as educated, as knowledgeable of being able to help the farmer, help the customer, but what is the intricacies of the product? And overall, it's not a complicated product, but there is technology that makes a difference. There's a difference between the cheap net wrap that you might buy, not trying to throw any competitors out there under the bus, but you can buy some really cheap, low quality net wrap. They're going to use lower UV stabilizer. It's not going to have the right percentage in the weft strands to get your cover edge technology. And in silage wrap, it is a far more, not far more, but it's definitely a more sophisticated product. And us being on those front lines, of bringing those product lines in, it's been really helpful.
Do you see an advantage? You know, we're a couple hours from Kansas City, 2-3 hours from Tulsa. You know, there's a lot of metros that are St. Louis. You know, 4 hours from here. You know, we're right on I-49, 45 minutes from I-44. You know, from a logistics standpoint, even being where we're at rural, the aid in that.
We are unbelievable, and I didn't even fully know it when I first stepped in, but we are unbelievably blessed to be in one of the key distribution points in the entire nation. You see so much traffic and railways go right through Kansas City, go right through our area. So we actually have an ability to be able to handle the entire nation through shipping and distribution. As good a spot as any. So that's been one of the biggest advantages we're not only have taken advantage of, but we're trying to continue to take advantage of going forward.
Because logistics is obviously a very
Very,
key
very
role
big part.
in scaling.
Especially expanding, bringing in multiple areas. It's going to be a very big part of the puzzle that we have to continue to get better at.
So let's touch on the parts business a little bit. I mean, obviously, know where that led to and the need and everything. But where do you see that going? I mean, I think that's great foresight on your part.
It's trying. I mean, at the end of the day, the way that we've been able to grow in business has been, how can we help our accounts out more? And at the end of the day, you go talk to any of your OEMs or your farm and home store, your family-owned agricultural stores, and they might have to deal with 150 different vendors just to be able to keep their shelves stocked. We have figured out how to be great at net wrap, twine, and silage wrap, and if we can figure out that same heart, that same character in the agricultural parts world, it's just going to make it that much easier for our accounts to be able to rely on us. And then they know at the end of the day, my grandfather always said this. He said, anyone can make a customer for a day. Our goal is to make a customer for life. And if we can keep that same heart behind everything that we do, go from being excellent at your crop packaging, your hay baling products, and bring in the agricultural parts, I think it's just going to allow us to help that many more people. And through that, that's how we've been successful in the past, and how we hope to keep being successful in the future.
So on your people, how many employees, if you don't mind I ask, how many
Absolutely.
you have, and what are some struggles? You know, I was having this discussion with my father-in-law last night of, you know, in business and things of that nature,
Yep.
which we've talked a lot of, but then there's the human side and even family, you know, including them and all the things you navigate from that standpoint. But, you know, the number of employees, you know, how you handle, you know, HR type of issues, you know, being small business, HR departments, like,
Come on. Yep, absolutely. So the way that has kind of worked, whenever I took over the company, we had 4 full-time employees. Right now, we are up to 16, and I've
Wow.
got 4 full-time applications out there looking for people right now. And that's just to handle in the fall. So the hope is that we actually do grow to a 30, 40-person company. On one of the things that has kind of made us special in that area is we've got a lot of people that are super high quality, talented people, but where they were working, they were having to work 70, 80, 90-hour work weeks. And as a distributor, we actually do have a unique advantage that we can get by with more of a 50, 55-hour Monday through Friday work week. And we've been able to support people and their families and their lives. Not just here at work, but them as a whole. So that's allowed us to actually get some super high quality people. On the HR side, man, I am so blessed. Our CFO is Becky Haskins.
Yep, I met Becky.
Amazing person. How she decided to say yes and come work for us, I don't know, but thank you, Jesus, and thank you, Becky. But she has CFO experience and
Yes.
HR experience. That has
so
been,
she handles those roles.
Absolutely, and it's been such a huge asset to me, whereas I didn't exactly know everything about the HR world,
Yeah.
and she's been able to help us with the professionalism in the HR side, helping our company really go to that next level of the HR and
Yeah.
professionalism.
So even being, you know, younger like we are, you know, but you do have some very senior, experienced individuals, you know, around you, and I've met Becky, and she is very, very intelligent lady. You know, and her experience is very valued. I mean, I think that's
Absolutely.
great. You know, and like Brandon's on board. You know, he's not old by any means. Sorry, Brandon. But you know, he's very talented, very, you know, very seasoned in what he does. You have for our rural area, you have some very talented individuals. So that really plays a role in your success, the business success, and your success, and in your role.
The number one reason where we have had the success that we have, number one, Jesus gets all the glory, but it has been the people that have come in. Even the very first person when we got started bringing in one of my best friends, Ben Selby, has been incredible. And then you start adding people like Becky Haskins and Brandon Watkins, and the people that's been here, and then new amazing people in the area. that's been the biggest reason that we've been able to keep that customer service excellence, that my grandfather's heart shining through in all that we do. That really goes back to the people that we got on board, and we have been unbelievably blessed with every single person that's been a part of the company.
That's awesome. Anything else you think want to add to where we think we're going, Ben? You know, like, it sounds like where you've been is a big part of where you're going.
Yeah,
I think that's.
It has been. I mean, it's really exciting with guys that are a little bit younger. I don't have to just think of business in the next 5 to 10 years, but we actually get the ability to think, man, where is agriculture going to be in 30 years? And I mean, honestly, as quickly as things are changing, it's a crazy world to think about. So we're always trying to think ahead. We're always trying to think of things that, as those changes happen, we don't want to be the last one in the agricultural world to be with those changes. We'd like to be leading those changes as they come down the pipeline. We're making a lot of investments in internet and technologies and our software to be able to handle that. But where we're going to be in 30 years, I don't know. But man, I'm excited. Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
And give us a like, subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And we'll see you soon.